In June 2017, Qatar was put under siege. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt cut diplomatic, trade, and travel ties with this tiny yet gas-rich country in the Persian Gulf. The anti-Qatar quartet accused Doha of funding terrorism and fostering instability in the region. Qatar argued that the show was all to impinge on its national sovereignty, and in fact the continuation of a fiendish plot hatched as early as 1996.
الحادث اللي حدث مؤلم جدا لجميع السعوديين.
Soon after his accession to the throne in 1995, the new Emir of Qatar, Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, announced an end to press censorship and launched a satellite television station that allowed criticism of his government and others in the region, while taking steps towards a democratically elected parliament. Though still far from a democracy, Qatar was setting a new example in the Arab world, causing discomfort for its authoritarian Arab neighbors. Moreover, Doha was sending signals of separation from the Saudi-led bloc in its foreign policy, an unforgivable sin in the eyes of Riyadh. So the Saudis, along with their all-weather friends, decided to take control of the situation by removing the unruly emir.
The Saudis wanted to bring back Qatar under its control because the Saudis have always viewed Qatar as part of Saudi Arabia, and any wealth or resources and land rights belong to the Saudis. And that continues to be their policy, and that's why it's really important for the people of Qatar and the government of Qatar to be aware that Saudis will continue to have these desires to invade and to usurp Qatar and its wealth. This is going to be something that the Qataris have to deal with for a long time, unless the Saudis are gone or somehow greatly weakened.
It was in mid-February 1996 that the news about a failed coup spread like wildfire, a coup that would have changed the course of history in this part of the Middle East. Shortly after, Qatar's security apparatus arrested a number of suspects and put them on trial as the coup plotters. Among them was Fahd al-Maliki, a former intelligence officer whose confessions uncovered the role of the Saudi bloc in plotting the overthrow. Dubbed Operation Abu Ali, the coup plot was hatched by a committee led by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, then Chief of Staff of the UAE Armed Forces and current Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, then Crown Prince of Bahrain and current King of Bahrain, Sheikh Sultan bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, then Saudi Minister of Defense, and Omar Suleiman, then Egyptian intelligence chief and former Vice President of Egypt. A 1997 New York Times article pointed out that the coup could have only been planned with knowledge and acquiescence from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates.
The Saudi desire to invade Qatar and usurp its resources is an old established fact. The goal of Saudi invasion and usurping Qatar and its massive wealth, namely the gas reserve that is worth over $40 trillion, that's 200 years of Saudi budget, has been part of the Saudi expansionist policy with its neighbors.
In the words of one of the coup plotters, a group of men were ordered to raid the house of Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa and place him under siege at his home, which was on the Al Rayyan Road in Doha. Whereas the operation was scheduled for February 16th, it was rescheduled at the suggestion of the current Emirati Emir Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed for February 14th so as to prevent the plot from being uncovered, according to another coup plotter. After taking control over military and security installations, the plotters were to give the green light for militias to enter Qatar from across the Saudi border. New details came out about the 1996 coup plot in an exclusive interview Al Jazeera had with Paul Barreau, a former French army commander hired back then by the Quartet to facilitate the plan. Years after the failed coup, Barreau's personal testimony in 2018 shed light on the involvement of the anti-Qatari camp. The UAE, according to Barreau, accommodated him and his 40-strong team in Abu Dhabi's Intercontinental Hotel, where many weapons transferred from Egypt were stored. They were also given UAE passports to facilitate their movement by the current Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who was then Commander-in-Chief of the UAE forces. At the same time, the Saudis were recruiting tribal fighters, while Bahrain was to be used as a center to oversee the operation in Doha via wiretappings. Meanwhile, 3,000 Chadian soldiers were also to take part in the attack under a deal clinched with President Idris Deby worth $20 million. According to Barreau, at the 11th hour, he received a call from the French President Jacques Chirac, who personally ordered him to stop any foolishness from happening.
One must note that the French government has continuously allowed French mercenaries to participate in such illegal wars and invasions, be it in Saudi Arabia or Yemen and even in Africa, without any repercussion. In fact, they provided protection for these mercenaries. This is something that the French government is fully aware of, but continue to ignore in contradiction to their supposed policy of supporting human rights and international law.
The attack, if mounted, would have resulted in the captivity of Emir of Qatar Sheikh Hamad, his foreign minister, and others from the ruling family. The coup attempt was deemed over with the arrest of coup operatives.
The rift between Saudi Arabia and its allies with Qatar may subside, but it will never be healed because this is part and parcel, or it's in the genetic composition of the Saudi monarchy, is to invade, conquer, and bully its neighbors, especially small neighbors like Qatar. So it will never go away. It will only subside for short term, but in the long term, the goal and the desire to capture Qatar, its territory, its decision, its sovereignty, and most importantly, its national wealth, the massive gas reserves, is a Saudi goal that continues to be very active today, and it will continue to be in the near future.
By many reliable accounts, like those provided by the Emir of Kuwait and German foreign minister, the blocking countries had a plan to attack Qatar days after they imposed the siege in 2017. Years after the failed coup, there are still no signs on the horizon to show that the Quartet's desire for putsch and bloodshed has abated.
الحادث اللي حدث مؤلم جدا لجميع السعوديين.